to SPAAR's Better and Better podcast. I'm Jennifer Kovacich, the Communications Director here at SPAAR, and I am with our 2024 SPAAR President Amy Peterson.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So you had quite a year, a big year. A lot of stuff happened in 2024, and I would love to just chat with you about some of the highlights and some of the takeaways from your year.
I'd love to share a little bit more about the theme and how we did and some of the things going forward. So really, when I started out the year, my theme was to light the way home. And that really had two different facets of it. One was to consider how we as agents serve as more of a guide for our clients to help them light their way home to home ownership and provide the resources to help them be able to do that successfully. And part of that also was to help light the way home for our members to take a look at all of the things that SPAAR does for them, to help partner with them, work alongside them, to provide those resources to be that professional for their client and be successful in business. And so one of the things that I started out the year was with Coffee with the President. And so I visited each of our 12 counties, and it was a great opportunity to have just a candid conversation with members in those areas. And so I think it's important for us to realize that we do cover a large area, and that gives us a great opportunity to learn about different things to help us with our business. So we have urban areas, we have rural areas, we have suburban areas, and each one of those has its own unique set of opportunities and challenges along the way where our advocacy makes such a huge difference. We continue to be very involved in the communities, from our communication of different events, different things in terms of professionalism, working in the community with volunteer service, and certainly our advocacy efforts with key communities and all of those policy things that we work alongside of those local governments to be able to better serve homeowners in those areas.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then part of it too is just getting involved with, understanding what's going on with our leadership, our committees, things in our association, and giving the members the opportunities to come in, learn more about that, be more involved to help on their leadership journey going forward. And most importantly, we have to be good stewards of our members' money. And so it's exciting to, in such a volatile year, to be able to tell you that we were able to stay on budget and make good decisions that really followed our strategic plan, to follow our mission and our vision as an association. So it's an exciting year. There was a lot of activity, but certainly 2025 is going to have its own challenges and opportunities going forward too.
Well, and I know you made a big point of getting out to members, whether it was visiting the different coffee shops or different locations throughout the 12 counties, and it was fun to hear your stories. And I know you visited committees at a minimum one time. I think probably you hit all of them 2 or more times, at least from my experience.
Yes, I made it to about half the committee meetings. So it was at least 4 times to every committee meeting. So I thought it was important to be present and be available to members, to be able to talk to leadership, to be able to see them interact, and certainly as we help develop our future leaders, be able to interact and see other people that are involved and invite others to get involved as well.
Yeah, and committees are such an easy way to get involved and just kind of get to know the association. I'm curious, from some of those meetings and just a lot of the interactions you had this year, what are some of the things that stand out most to you? We have some of the most passionate members in our association. It's exciting to see how involved they are in their communities, the experience level from either new members to people that have been in the business 20, 30 years, all coming together to be able to share experiences, share knowledge, learn from each other, and really get involved to make our association better, because we really truly are a member-driven organization that starts from the committee meetings in terms of talking about projects and what's important and how things are changing and how we can get involved to make a difference. Yeah. And so we do have actually some opportunities going forward where we could really use some more realtor members getting involved in committees. So it's easy to be able to sit in on any of the committees, try out a few, see which one fits the best. Right now, we're really looking for some additional members in the Professionalism Committee, Community Engagement, and the Young Professionals Network, which we also call Your Professional Network, not just young in the YPN. So, and in fact, our leadership team for 2025, all three of them were part of the YPN committee going forward. So there's always great ways to get involved. And I really appreciate the people that do serve on the committees and on our board of directors and in leadership because they really do make a difference in terms of keeping us on track, making sure that we're relevant as an association going forward.
Well, and I am assuming in this next comment that I am speaking for all of my colleagues a little bit, but as the staff person for the Communications Committee, it's so valuable to have member input help shape a lot of the direction of SPAAR and just come up with new and fresh ideas. Mm-hmm. But I will say one of my favorite things, which is, I guess, an unintended consequence, if you will, is just hearing the members talk amongst each other, get to know each other, network. They're sharing if they know somebody that might be good for this house or what's coming on the market. It's just really fun to see the wheels turning and the ideas shared. So I think beyond just what you can bring to help SPAAR out, there really is a lot of things that each member who is involved in the committees can take away for themselves as well.
That's a good point. And you mentioned staff in terms of being liaisons for the committees. And really this year, there were a lot of changes that affected you as our staff and our support. And I just send kudos out to our staff because they work so hard and work so well together in terms of picking up the pieces, making sure that we're supported in terms of our goals and our objectives as an association. I mean, think of, 6 days into my presidency and being in the Kilimanjaro airport in Africa, talking on the phone, thank you, technology, because John Fridlington had passed away and needing to keep things running, and staff never missed a beat. They worked together, they came together, helped us, supported us as we looked for a new CEO, and helped guide members in the interim. And so now that we have Gabe Walsh on board, it sounds like there's been a lot of great activity in terms of getting to know each other and really continuing on with the goals and the strategic objectives that we have to partner with our members and make sure that those resources are available. So that is one of the exciting parts that I love about SPAAR because, the staff that we have supporting us is truly one of a kind. So thank you.
Well, and thank you for those comments. We definitely are lucky. I think we have good staff and member partnerships, and that really helps make things move forward. And we had a great leader in John, and we have a great leader in Gabe. So fortunate in a lot of different ways. But thanks for those comments.
You're welcome. It makes such a difference, and I don't think our members quite understand. We don't always end up in the SPAAR offices to see that, like I would, being here on a regular basis. So,
well, and that's one of the things too. I think a few years ago, so much happened in the SPAAR offices, and just in the last couple of years, and even in just 2024, there really are a lot of ways for members to be involved virtually, if that makes it easier. Book clubs are one example. We have a lot of on-demand opportunities for people who want to do education but maybe physically can't come to SPAAR. So there just is a lot of different ways to try to reach out to members and make it work for anybody in whatever situation they're in.
And that's why it's really important for members to be watching for the newsletters, especially Monday's news, to see what's going on and what opportunities are coming up, because there are so many different activities that are moving forward and ways that we can help make our business better, perhaps kind of refresh some of those skills. I mean, you think about all of the things that change in our industry and how we continue to thrive and grow, sometimes in spite of them. But it's important to make sure that they stay tuned to really get the true value of the membership each and every week.
Yeah. So I know you attended a number of events throughout the year. Are there some that stand out? I'd love for you to say, oh, they're all equally good. And maybe they are in your opinion, but are there some that just kind of resonate that you don't want to miss year after year?
Well, I think the winter social is always an important way to really celebrate the activities. We have Leadership SPAAR and we have our member awards, but also to take a look at what is going, what we accomplished in the year prior and what things we can look forward to in the year ahead. Certainly there's always the unknowns that we don't see coming, kind of like what happened this year. But in terms of looking forward to the people and the activities that are moving forward, I'm so excited for the leadership team coming ahead and the activities that our committees have in the planning stages right now for 2025. So it's going to be a great year.
Well, speaking of the year coming up, we have Jennifer Livingston, who will step into your shoes as president for 2025. I'm curious what advice or words of wisdom you would want to share with her or any of the leadership team for 2025.
Well, Jennifer has 20-some years experience in the industry, so that's really going to serve her well in terms of helping lead the organization, and certainly surrounded by a great leadership team with lots of energy. And so it's really a matter of looking at her own strengths and bringing that to the forefront in terms of her leadership style, because we're all different and we all have different things that we can do to make the organization better and certainly help develop our future leaders as well. So I think, she's got the right combination of things to really lead the organization into the next year.
So before we started the podcast, you said, let's focus a lot on SPAAR and talk about what we've did, which we've been doing. But I'm going to ask you this question anyway. What was it years back? Because I know before president, you were president-elect and treasurer. What was it that wanted you to become, what prompted you to get into leadership? What kind of was your vision and led you to this role?
When we get involved in the association, whether it's committees, whether it's attending events, I think it's an eye-opener in terms of different things that are going on behind the scenes that maybe we don't even realize when we're working in the communities, working on the advocacy, just all of the things that we take a look at in terms of members developing their business and being successful in their business and helping communicate the information to help them do that. There's so many things that are changing from the national level to local and to state level, whether it is business related or advocacy related. And so by getting involved with the committees, getting involved with the board of directors, it seemed like there was always those golden nuggets of information that I could share with my clients that made my business better. And I talked to a lot of the members that I've mentored over the years and invited along with me to get involved, and to see their confidence grow is just a cool feeling. And I'm excited for them to continue in their journey as well going forward.
That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for sharing. Mm-hmm. So what impact do you see in the coming year based on how things kind of ramped up in 2024?
So realtors tend to be very resilient, the whole industry really, because we go through changes, and it seems like it goes through a cycle every so often where there's something fairly major that comes through our industry, and we are successful and thriving in spite of it. So as we look at the rising interest rates that kind of leveled things off and made it a little challenging for people, the unknowns while we waited to see how the lawsuits and the settlement were playing out this past year, and then looking forward to 2025 when there's still some of those different lawsuits that are still in play, and just understanding that we still have an opportunity to help educate our clients, to help talk about our value as a realtor, but also as an association, and help our members understand all of those things that we're doing behind the scenes. You know, if we don't share what we're doing to help make it easy, they don't understand that all of the things that were going on in the background are what contributed to that smooth closing, where I wasn't giving them a frantic phone call, 10 p.m. the night before the closing saying, oh, well, we need this and this and this and this, that there was other things that experience and my involvement here just helped me follow up and make sure that it was happening behind the scenes, or things that we know over the years, documents that we need to follow up on, or I call them spidey senses, where you just kind of know that something feels a little off. I think I better follow up on it.
Sure.
And a way to constructively share that with our clients. I think it really gives us an opportunity to help them understand what we truly do on their behalf to make sure that it's a good experience. And so there's things like that going forward that I think will carry through. But certainly from the standpoint of looking at forms, looking at what we do to educate our clients, there's always opportunity to take a look at that, especially this time of year, and refine that. What can I do better? What should I do different in terms of making sure that I'm explaining this properly to my clients, or sharing all of their options so they can make an informed decision, because that's truly what our job is in terms of guiding them through the transaction rather than being a gatekeeper, or making decisions for them. Here's your options. Here's the pros and cons. How would you like to proceed? Yeah. And really making it their decision.
And honestly, over the months, looking at statistics and seeing, shortages in inventory and high rates and high prices, there always is a silver lining in terms of different avenues that clients can pursue with the help of their realtor. So it's fun to learn through you and other members and just hear all the different opportunities that there are, or just different paths to get there.
And 2025 still has an opportunity for us to share the message in terms of the first generation home buyer assistance, the ongoing first time buyer assistance. We talk a lot about a home ownership gap in terms of Minnesota between white home ownership rates and communities of color. And really, if we look at it as an opportunity for more people to own homes, that's really the message there. It's not a matter of making, concessions for one and not the other. It's a matter of helping more people be homeowners. And that's really why we got into the business, is to help people with their dreams and their goals related to home ownership and real estate investing.
Yeah. I like to think of you and other realtors and those in the industry as resources for the clients, and hopefully SPAAR is seen as a resource for you and the work you do and different avenues to get there, and be able to share a lot of the good things that are available to clients.
The advantage SPAAR has is that they're able to follow what's going on nationwide, because so many of us are involved at the national level and we have good resources there. We also have great resources at the state level that can help us both with information, with forms, things like that, to make sure that we're staying current on everything that's going on. And then SPAAR has that local connection in terms of making sure that we know what's going on in our communities. We can share as different things come up. We can be involved in the process and continue to share that with our clients to make sure that it's the best process possible.
Yeah. You mentioned a lot of realtors being involved at different levels. What's next for you after your presidency ends on January 9th, technically?
Well, it's actually Jennifer's presidency already, because she took office on the 1st. But I will continue to stay involved all the way through. It's important to me. I enjoy it. I learn something new every day. And so I'll be involved with SPAAR committee still on the board of directors for another year as the immediate past president. At the state level, I'm still involved with committees, going to be serving on the sustainability committee that's new this year, as well as continuing with professional standards, the board of directors and the executive committee. And then also at the national level, I'll be vice chair of the Housing Opportunities Committee. So it's a lot of the same information because we're talking about how planning and zoning kind of intersects with fair housing and affordability and diversity issues. So still involved, still getting to know different people in the industry and still wanting to give back to the industry because I think it's really important as we continue forward that we have that information and we continue to have that voice for homeownership and private property rights.
Absolutely. Well, and it's great that you're involved, and hopefully we'll see new members get involved this year, and maybe you'll be a mentor to some of those folks.
I would love to.
So anything else that you want to add as we have kind of looked over 2024?
Well, we've talked a lot about different things that have evolved over the year. Certainly, there's been a lot of big items that we've talked about. We've come together in terms of some housekeeping with our bylaws changes and some of those administrative changes, kind of keeping up with the times and being prepared for giving our members options with the non-member access and continuing to understand what SPAAR provides to help support our businesses, what other levels of the organization provide in terms of benefits along the way. And I think it's really important that we consider the fact that we really need to work together as one unified voice of real estate. Going forward. So, politics tends to be pretty divisive, but investing in our industry, investing in our business through the Realtor Political Action Committee, RPAC, it's a minimum of $15, and it's an investment in your business. So we think about COVID and the fact that we were still considered an essential industry and what we're working toward in terms of things that affect homeownership and private property rights. We are stronger together, and we need to have that voice together. And so as we think about our business and investing, that's something that I think is going to be increasingly important going forward. So I'd encourage people to think about that in their 2025 business plan. And then going forward, continuing to find out what we offer here at SPAAR and attend an event. Try out a committee, really take a look at the on-demand education opportunities so we can help you grow and partner with you in your business as well as help you succeed going forward because we really are here as an association to partner with you in the success going forward. And so check us out. Learn more about your association. We're not just where you pay your dues. There's other things going on that are pretty exciting.
It's also, in my opinion, really fun to see how SPAAR and the members who are involved can give back to members in the form of scholarships for kiddos going off to, post-secondary college, smaller things like book clubs and just having a voice and shared common interest and just different leaderships and professional growth. But then on a bigger scale beyond the members, just giving back to communities in lots of different ways. As you know, we just wrapped up in November Thanksgiving back, and we were able to donate soup to lots of different food shelves throughout all of our jurisdiction, all the 12 county service area. That is a rewarding feeling on behalf of the members. And then other things like the key communities where we're able to actually help cities who apply and help them do different things depending on what they're looking for.
Right. We've been able to help with walkability studies, with placemaking, where we help them with their parks, trails, systems, things that help with the property values in those areas. And by continuing to partner with our communities in those 12 counties, that's why we need everybody's involvement in those 12 counties. That really helps keep us in a positive light, with everything that's gone on in the industry. We know that our members are already involved in the communities, and we need that information in terms of our SPAAR Hero. We want to put some recognition out there, some of those feel-good stories to help make a positive impact on behalf of our members, that realtors are good neighbors. Realtors do give back to their communities, not just the realtors, but also the whole real estate industry that our membership incorporates as well. So we're not just in it to make a buck. We don't have our hand out. There's other good things that we're doing, but we have to tell our own story in a lot of cases because otherwise people aren't going to know.
And there are so many stories. That's the fun part.
And that's the exciting thing. The more people I learn about and the more organizations that they help in our realtor family, it's just exciting.
Yeah, and it really encapsulates that better agents, better communities. And as I'm sitting here talking with you, it just kind of gets the wheels turning. We could sit here for all of 2025 and share some of this information.
We could. We have a lot of great things going on within those 12 counties of SPAAR.
We do. Well, anything else you want to add in there?
I just want to wish everybody a healthy and prosperous 2025. There's a lot of things that, good, bad, or indifferent happened in 2024. We continue to learn. We continue to grow. Let's all thrive in 2025.
That sounds great. And I want to thank you for your leadership in 2024. It's been great working with you, partnering with you, and just really seeing all of your efforts and dedication that you have shared with SPAAR. So thank you, Amy.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.